That's enough.
You're driving me crazy.
Hello, and a hello to you all. Welcome to Dating and Development. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't know who I am, I'm glad you know. I'm glad I know who I am, because if I didn't know, I'd be quite worried and thinking it's Patricia talking again and not me. Hope we're all doing splendidly good on this Friday. Now, before I get started, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share. Do it now. I need someone to simp over me, please. I need the attention. I need the validation. I need to know that someone is simping over me. And before also going further, I want to know that this is my 99th video. I know, a long way since March. However, for my 100th video, I want to do something quite special for it and put a lot of work into it. So if you notice a difference of time frame between this video and the next, it's because I'm working on it and I want it to be pretty good and people to enjoy it. It's something that's quite close to me also. Now let's get started. Not so long ago, by not so long ago I mean the other day, I did a video talking about the pay gap in the workplace between the ladies and the lads. You know, being a bunch of lads that grab each other's balls and tell wisecracking jokes and talk about why our wife hasn't touched us in 3 years. But she's going for the yoga instructor that she goes to every Wednesday. But you have no evidence to prove it. And you called her out and she said she'll divorce you and then she'll have sex with the yoga instructor on the table. But anyways, besides the classic stuff your wife might say, my wife, luckily I'm not married, don't think I ever will be either. You know, we don't really delegate our attention to things that are much more important. Obviously, you know, pay gap, gender, equality, bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle. Very important stuff, yes. Sarcasm there? No. However, we don't really pay attention to the deletion of males on the workplace. You know, it's women this and women that. How about men this and men that for a change in the workplace? Yes, male privilege, blah de blah de blah. You know, let's throw out all the buzzwords in the fempowerment movement and, you know, because I'm not stunning and brave talking about this. But this needs to be talked about more. Now, this is a article should I say, from the journal.ie to the Irish folk. Anyone else who's listening to this abroad in the US is just an Irish news website. But I have an American one here just to back up my points. Now, the headline for this states, construction deletions more than doubled last year, with falls from heights being the leading cause. Overall, 46 people perished in the workplace in 2019, and agriculture remains the most dangerous sector which to work. So agriculture, farming, everything else in between. Lovely stuff. Carrying on. Construction deletions in Ireland increased by 140% in 2019. Rising from 5 to 12, according to provisional statistics from the Health and Safety Authority, the HSA. 140. Now let's just, let's see if any of these are ladies. Let's have a look. Falls from heights are the leading cause of construction worker perishaments, and fatalities are more common in smaller construction companies with fewer than 10 employees. Overall, 46 people who have been deleted in the workplace happened in 2019, an 18% rise from the previous year where 39 people bit the dust. Vehicles, falls from heights, drowning, and getting trapped or crushed were the main cause of fate. Imagine going out that way. Imagine leaving the world that way, being crushed or drowned or falling from a height. That must be scary. Like, you never know. Any day you wake up could be the last. Doesn't matter if you're in an easy job like education where it's safe and the workplace fatality is quite low, here in Ireland anyways, or going to work on agriculture. You never know. Going into a sewage tank, that could be, take care. And it goes here of the 5 most common cause of work-based fatalities of 2019. Vehicle, cattle, machinery, bales, others, vehicle, impact following fall, drowning, struck by falling object, and other. Now back came to 46 altogether. Agriculture remains the most dangerous sector in which to work, with 18 deletions, up from 15 In 2018, the HSA said, older farmers are more at risk, and 13 victims were over 60 years of age, with 10 of those over 70 and 2 over 80. Farming deletions occurred throughout 2019, with 3 each in January, April, July and September. It's a dangerous job working with sewage, hay bales, the whole shebang, cattle. Anything can get you. The deletions were associated with being trapped or crushed, 7, struck by a vehicle, 2 deletions, drowning, 2 deletions, struck by falling objects, 2 deletions, and other 5 deletions. Livestock were involved in 6 of these fatalities. In each case, the animals involved were cattle. Tractors were involved in the majority of the workplace vehicle incidents last year, claiming 5 lives. Trucks, loaders, trailers, teleporters, quads, trams, forklifts, road sweepers, and my ex-wife were all involved. Not surprised, she's always up to no good. Just trying to inject a little bit of humour in there, in this serious topic nonetheless. Why does this show? These jobs are very dangerous jobs to do. Are they done by women a lot of the time? Not necessarily. As said before, how often do you see a woman working in agriculture? Maybe a bit, yeah, but the numbers there are far few in between. How many women do you see working on a construction site? Oh wait, very little. It's very manual, hard labour. You're lifting heavy loads. Biologically, men are stronger than women, so men are going to be able to work those long hours because they have the physiques, they have the testosterone to do it. Am I belittling women? Oh, hell no. Not where I'm going. But here's where it gets interesting. More male deaths. The figures also show that men's deletions on the job at much higher rates than the ladies, with the majority of deletions, 44, impacting males compared to 2 females, both non-workers, in 2019. What does this show? Just from the statistics alone, that over 90% of those workplace perishments were men. Crazy stuff. Meanwhile, 6 fatalities occurred among people under 35 years of age, including 3 children, representing 13% of the overall total. 3 children too many. Of course, these are 44 people too many. 47 people way too many. No. They shouldn't be perishing. They have families in that. Wexford, which is a county in Ireland, had the highest number of fatalities with 7 deaths in 2019, followed by 6 perishments in Dublin, 5 in Cork. Cavan, Longford, Leitrim, Laois, Meath, Offaly, Sligo, Westmeath had no workplace deletions last year. And here is a map of Ireland, if you're looking at this on YouTube, of the fatalities that happened in Ireland. And number 1 was Wexford, 2 was Dublin, so you know, it's all there, it's all there. April was the most dangerous month with 6 deletions, with November having no reported fatalities. You know, in April being spring and everything else as well as silage and that, it kind of makes sense. Commenting on the figures, HSA Chief Executive Officer Dr. Sharon McGuinness expressed concern that construction deletions increased from 5 in 2018 to 12 in 2019. The figures show that the number of construction deletions have increased to levels not seen since the last spike in 2015, when falls from a height were also the bigger trigger in fatal injuries, she said. This is worrying because it shows that without proper risk assessments and health and safety considerations, ultimately a worker may pay the price with their life. Since 2008, 107 fatal incidents have occurred in the construction sector. 6 people were deleted in construction in 2017, 10 in 2016, and 11 in 2015. As said, while the majority of these workplace fatalities, men, women account for very little, and so they're non-workers. See, in Ireland, we're looking at jobs women take: nursing, the maternal ones. Of course, they can do the corporate ladder and everything else. Of course, they can. Now, there's this talk of this glass ceiling when working in, companies and everything else. But you see, the more you climb up this ladder, the more the competition becomes individualized because you're competing with individuals, and that can be quite a harder thing to do, as opposed to you're competing with other workers at the lower parts of the rungs. And yes, the glass ceiling, is it there? I don't necessarily think it is, because you're talking about women becoming CEOs and everything else. They're breaking through that glass ceiling. Women are becoming much more strong and independent. Of course, they're breaking through the glass ceiling. But the stunning and brave movement will bring up, oh yeah, but women have the glass ceiling, this, that, and the other. But then once you bring in the fact that more men perish in the workplace, this, that, and the other, what are you told to do? You're told that you're mansplaining, and then they go off and cry and flick their bean to man on man erotic fantasies. Cutting corners. McGuinness noted that the HSA's provisional statistics show that the rate of construction fatalities has increased considerably in the last 12 months from 3.5 per 100,000 people employed to approximately 8.2 per 100,000. Now, this goes into preventing fatalities and everything else, which is all well and good. I'll leave that in the description below. However, there's another one, which is an article I would like to touch. Gender pay gap. What about the workplace deletion gap? In case you didn't know, this is from 2017, by the way. But honestly, in case you didn't know, that's just the opening statement from this article. The date symbolizes blah 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 blah. Let's carry on. They say, the notion women are paid 20% less. They say leave aside this fact that his pay gap claim, this is something the NCPE said, this is American now, based on comparison of median incomes for women and men in the census data, has been reportedly debunked because it fails to take into account various factors other than discrimination that explain the difference. The Washington Post's fact checker, for example, did a pretty thorough takedown of the claim a couple of years ago. Now, am I going to click on that super link? No. Carrying on. Economist Mark Perry has for years noted that there is even a bigger and far more consequential gender gap in the workplace, one that literally means the difference between life and not being around anymore. He notes the official government data show that men suffer almost all the workplace fatalities that take place in a given year. See, why does no one talk about this? Oh wait, I think I know why. Because it's not stunning and brave, and if men were to bring up this topic, they're told to shut up, keep their mouths closed, no one cares. You see, there's all this humongous talk on mental health and the stigma about men talking, opening up and everything else. But see, the thing is that I notice, yes, let men talk, men. This is coming from mentality, society and women. Men, we want you to talk, but you talking up your feelings, man up. Do you feel me? I'll say it again. We have this mentality, and the stigma is there for mental health. People, men in particular, are told to speak up about how they're feeling. Yes, men, let us know how you are. Oh, you're expressing something that affects you in a general whole, and also could be in part to the fatherly cult going on. Oh wait, man up. Fuck that shit, like. You for real? That's the double standards. You see women complain about something, oh, this makes me so sad. All these girls, are you okay, hon? Oh, babe, I'm so sorry to hear. Oh, you're so good looking. Oh my god, you got this, beautiful. You're so fantastic. Oh, hon, never give up. And, oh, I'm sad. Oh, man up. See, it does, and we still have that mentality. Yes, it's good to show masculinity and everything else, but we have to remember something. Men are also humans. We also have emotions. We're not just some robots. Yes, we could be the macho of macho men. However, there are times that macho man might still doubt himself. There will also be times that macho man might cry to himself at night. But he doesn't say it because he keeps on the brave face, and if he cries, he's seen as weak because people, society in general, cannot tolerate emotional men. Why? Because you don't like being around it. Oh, you're meant to be a man, why are you crying? You see, when we try and bring up, when I talk about these kind of topics, they're kind of disregarded, and they should not be, because these are very serious topics to be talked about. In 2015, carrying on with the article now, for example, there are 4,836 workplace deletions, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Of those, 4,492 were men, 344 were women. That's 10 times that's about 15 times the amount. In other words, men suffered 93% of workplace fatalities in that given time. This wasn't some aberration. From 2011 to 2015, men accounted for 92.5% of all workplace fatalities. Yes, let's discuss this glass ceiling, but let's blow cannonballs to that glass thing and say, look, yes, women, you have the same qualifications, you work the same amount of hours, yes, perfectly fine, circumstances, great, but this is more. This is highly important. This is a highly important thing to discuss. You might think you're all hard done by. Maybe you are at work, maybe given your personal circumstance. Yeah, I'll give you that. We gotta look at the broader picture. This is something that needs to be tackled, big time. Using the National Committee of Pay Equity's methodology, Perry came up with what he calls the Equal Occupational Deletion Day. Based on the different deletion rates, this day doesn't occur until the 21st of January 2029. Yet every year we have Equal Pay Day because it's stunning and brave. Does it make sense? No, double standards. The date, Perry says, mimicking the language of NCPE, symbolizes how far into the future American women will be able to continue working before they experience the same loss of life that men experienced in 2015 from work-related deletions. This huge gap has nothing to do with discrimination, of course. It has everything to do with the types of jobs women and men voluntarily choose to take. We have free reign. You have free reign. Women, we're not treated equally in the workplace. You can choose whatever job you want to do, but with that choice comes with the circumstances. It comes with the consequence. Oh, you're going into education, great, easy one. That's one woman in an easy job, but in every place, a man would usually have to replace that in a harder job. In this chart on his blog, Perry notes that the most dangerous professions, logging, fishing, pilots, roofers, garbage collectors and so on, are all dominated by men. Okay, those jobs are dominated by men, but how come women aren't pushing, we need more garbage collectors as women, we need more roofers as women, we need more fishing or logging people as women? Why are they not fighting for that? Why is it only the workplace where the jobs that they do they're fighting equality for? If the You Go Girl movement is all about equal rights between men and women, how come they're not looking at the rights for this? Oh wait, because it's what they're looking at, what benefits them at the moment. If, we want to fight for marriages between men and women being equal and equal outcomes. Oh yeah, this is so fun. Yeah, but you don't, because it's a nice little paycheck for you at the end. Now, am I being a man who does not like women? No, I'm not. I'm just highlighting the points and the flaws in their approach. That's all I'm doing. I'm just putting two and two together. Any person with some sense of logic and brain cells in their head can do this quite easily. So if we're talking about the 25 women who are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, how come we're not talking about the multiple men who perish from jobs? That's not very you go, girl. That's very you go and do what you do, what benefits you. Let's not look at the broader picture and want equality for all in the workplace. The conclusion he draws, carrying on, low-risk occupations, administrative support, healthcare, education tend to be dominated by women. The conclusion he draws from this is that men are far more willing than women to take on higher risk jobs in exchange for higher pay, and this also plays a role in explaining away the supposed pay gap. Yes, high risk, high reward. High risk, high reward. That's what it is. The reality is that men and women demonstrate clear gender differences when they voluntarily select their careers, occupations and industries that suit them best. And those voluntary choices contribute to differences in pay that have nothing to do with gender discrimination. No one's forcing a woman to be a garbage person. She can do that in her own volition. Someone's not forcing a man to be a teacher. He can be a teacher if he wants to be, but his professions we go to dictates how much we earn. I don't know how people cannot grasp that concept. It's a pretty easy one to grasp. If I'm going to be a garbage collector, of course I'm going to earn less than someone who's a CEO or someone who works in some sort of bank on, their basic salary. It's common sense. It's a high risk, high reward jobs you get into. If you're putting your life on the line, obviously your compensation has to be high. A pilot, for example, has to look after so many passengers. He has to get them from one destination to another safely. Flying a plane is no easy feat. So obviously he's going to get paid more for that because it's a much more dangerous profession. And to end this, they say, we need more people like Perry offering these common sense truths to the public, and fewer people like those in the National Committee on Pay Equity who trade on people's ignorance to push their political agendas. This guy Perry, do I know who he is? No, I shake his hand quite firmly. Of course I would. He's speaking a lot of sense. It's common sense when you think about it, but because with the media and everything else, people are being pushed to believe these certain ideologies, which is not a good thing to be, because you're not allowing those people to critically think about these kind of things, because they see it on Facebook, because they see it on the internet, or because other people say it. It must be real. But of course this guy is saying it, but he has statistics to prove it. He's backing himself up. There's one person saying being a Facebook accredited scientist, as opposed to someone else knowing what the fuck they're actually talking about. I hope this makes sense. The takeaway from this one, men and women, is this: much more men perish on the work site. They do. It's 93% higher than women. Does the glass ceiling exist in the workplace? Not necessarily, no. Why? Because the higher you climb the ladder, the more individualized the competition becomes in earning more money. There's not many people at the top, but there are a lot of people at the bottom and a good few at the middle. The higher you go up the pyramid, the fewer people you come across, the harder the competition will be. Least not to mention, we have these ladies fighting for equality in the workplace. Yes, we want equal pay, but how are we going to lower these debts doesn't concern them, because they want what is beneficial to them at the time. So something needs to be done about this workplace deletion going on, because they're leaving families behind, they're leaving friends behind, they're leaving loved ones behind, and more importantly, they're not fulfilling. Their life is cut too short. Their life is cut way too short. And those 3 children who passed away also, Holy Mother of God. My heart goes out to their families. And here's a challenge to those women who are all for equality in that. How about lose the sense of being entitled to what benefits you? And how about you go after what benefits both genders? How about you try that for a change? Stop being this masculine, feminine, a masculine woman, macho brain who does not like men. Look at the facts. Us men in society, we're being done a lot harder in general. We're screwed over in the family courts, but will you do anything about it? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because until then, men are pulling out of the game, and less men are getting married. Less men are not going to participate in being with ladies in general, because why? The game's rigged against them, and men are becoming smarter. But anyways, that's all the time I have for this one. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Listen to this on any audio streaming service. Leave me a voice message about it. Would love to hear massively. And to over the 700 people who've been tuning in so far, thank you very much. You have my most humble gratitude. And as I said, there's going to be a delay between this video and the 100th video, so you have a whole heap of videos to look back on while I'm working on the new one. So take care, God bless, stay safe, and all the best. Thank you.